Guys, this is part two of my New Year's wish. And last time we talked about the three things. Okay, we finished the two. The first one is like I wish more American get into the entrepreneurship. I want to add one point here. Why entrepreneurship matters more in the age of generative AI? Because a lot of the heavy lifting work will be done by the machine. So that's why some people believe. I think Sam Altman believed that a lot of people will get into uh, you know universal basic income. You know, I think one reason is that it technically everybody is trainable, but it's just the cost. Which one costs the less? I mean, for some people, it will take them, probably 100 hours to train a complicated thing, but the machine we can do that within like 2 hours. So there's a cost and benefit issues. That's why, in the future, in the age of AI, we will have two kinds of people. One will be, mostly just receiving the universal basic income. Entrepreneurs, they will have a future because they're the one who come up with a new idea, critical thinking, and go above and beyond what the machine can do, what the machine can think of. Those the future belongs to them. So that's why entrepreneurship is very important. Again, those are the three things that we come to the numbers. The last one, which is I wish more Americans getting along, less extremes, giving some breathing space to each other. You know, my favorite question is that why can we all get along, right? Although it's always easier said than done, right? Because we have this country is it's a very strong personal causes and personal preferences, and sometimes those that don't compromise, they cannot will not compromise each other, and then so to live under the same roof. This morning I learned that Tom Cruise, the one of the top actors, decided to move to Canada. I mean, Canada is not too far away, right? So it's a good location. And basically, the cost for him is to leave this country because he doesn't want to live in the same country with Trump, right? So, but I was just thinking, I actually made a comment this morning on the X. I said that you don't have to live like next door, like you don't have to you don't have to sleep in the same bed or sitting next to Trump, right? Unlike Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk basically lived in Malaga or something. So you lived miles away. I can't see the much difference between living in Canada versus living in California, where Trump lives in U.S. Washington D.C. I don't think that there's much difference. I mean, more importantly, we really need to uh, learn to live with each other. This is the place that I think the American can learn something from Confucianism. Confucianist one says that the middle ground doctrine is basically, being modest, they try to, integrate the different sides and take a different perspective into account. This is a higher wisdom, if you will. Speaking of the people in the entertainment business, the show business, and I want to talk about. Oh, by the way, before we go there, we can talk about something like some principles, some framework sounds very good. For example, let's talk about the DEI, right? The DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusiveness. On the paper, in theory, very nice, right? But in reality, sometimes people go too far. I think embracing the ethnicity diversity does not mean that we belittle or treating the white people as like kind of like a second class citizen. I know some people will have a problem with me being saying that, but I was just still thinking that's truly I mean, I'm a private citizen. I can say what I believe, right? And then I believe that identity politics it's bad, because it can't last long. It's not a equilibrium. It's not a sustainable because in the long run we will eventually the most sustainable way is selecting people by their ability, by their performance, not by their skin color, right? So that's another thing that I want to add. But now, let's go back to the show business, the people in the entertainment business, and let's talk about the real life drama between Blake Lively and Baldoni, right? On the two sides, the latest one that I learned that Baldoni just filed a lawsuit against the New York Times. Also, by the way, I learned something about Baldoni because I've been reading this and then I found out that this guy is kind of respectable because he has written two books. One of the title is like "Boys Will Be Human," and then the other one is like uh, "Man Enough." And then later, the "Man Enough" actually turns into a podcast. And then this guy, he has like a TED talk, and he asking deep questions. Like I think he says like, "Are you brave enough to be tolerant or to be vulnerable? Are you confident enough to be listening to the woman you live with?" And something like that. Those questions. So I was I didn't know that he is the other side. I thought he was just somebody with a pretty good face, right? But here there's one thing that the two things actually. The first one is that there is a crucial little detail is that according to Baldoni and his lawsuit, the paper, that it is Blake Lively who invited Baldoni and probably a bunch of other guys to her trailers. He said, if you want to, I'm pumping up in my trailers. If you want to come to practice line, you can do that. So basically, that basically, if that's true, right? That according to the lawsuit documents, that the text message was sent out in June 13 or something this year, last year, 2024. So if that's the truth, then if that's real, then that means that the campaign or whatever probably they raised up to the lawsuit uh, from the lively side. It's certainly exaggerated because they were claiming that Baldoni and his guys were uninvited enter the trailers. That's not true, right? And then the other little crucial detail is that his husband, her husband, that's not a non-native speaker. So sometimes I confuse what is his or her. So her husband, Ryan Reynolds, whatever, right? Actually, there was another report that shows that Ryan actually berate. I learned a new word, berate, which means severely scolding or criticizing somebody, much like a authoritative father treating his son, right? So in a private setting, that Ryan Reynolds was, berate Baldoni, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I think if it's true, then I think it makes sense because American culture is such a culture that if you are strong, if you think you're strong, you're good looking, your wife is better looking than his wife, those kind of thing. Some people may have a sense of advantage, sense of superiority, right? So, but that's not good because the higher wisdom is the middle ground doctrine. You treat people nice, even though you are strong, even though you are more famous, even though you are you have advantage over others. You still treat other people nice. Then that's how you win more. So that's why you win and win. If you treat people nice as a better way, you're hurting yourself. So that's let's stop here.